Hi, thank you for joining me. In this short demonstration video, we're going to demonstrate the features of SimpleClinic. The best way for us to do this is to show you the standard processes that most practitioners that use SimpleClinic are going through in their clinic on a day-to-day basis. To do that, I'm just quickly going to log in to our demo server. The first screen that you'll see when you log in is the dashboard. The dashboard provides a quick place to view information about your clinic. Through this left-hand column, we see information about patient orders. We can see orders where we're waiting for stock to come in from the manufacturer. We can see orders where we're waiting for patients to come in and pick up supplements from the clinic. We can see orders that need to be shipped out to the patient. And we can also see any orders where there's an outstanding invoice. This is an invoice where the patient hasn't made a payment. Through the middle column, we can view information about the clinic's trading. In the first well, we can see information about the current day's trading, the current month trading, and finally, the last 10 days of trading. Each of these middle wells can be filtered based on a practitioner for multi-practitioner clinics. This will then filter the figures to only show those figures as they relate to those particular practitioners. In this right-hand column, we see other information related to upcoming expenses. Any latest prescriptions that have been created that have not yet been converted into an invoice. And we see any new bookings that have been created, whether those have been created through the back-end diary or whether they've been created through the online booking interface. Client and patient management in SimpleClinic is through the Client's menu option from the top navigation bar. When you're on the Clients page, you can search for any of your patients by typing in 3 letters of the first and/or last name. In this case, we'll load Casey Jones's client record. The action bar across the top will give you various functions that you can perform with the client record. We can send SMS or email communication directly from within SimpleClinic. We can create invoices. We can create prescriptions. And we can record comments, treatment notes, and vouchers. From the Information tab, we track all the standard information about a patient. Invoices will give you access to the invoice history for that client. Appointments will give you access to the appointment history. Messages will give you access to any messaging history with the patient. From the treatment notes, you'll be able to access old and new treatment records. From the Prescriptions tab, you'll be able to access any prescriptions that have been created for the patient. From the Vouchers tab, any vouchers that have been raised. From the Forms tab, you'll be able to view any form submissions that the patient has made through the electronic form builder within SimpleClinic. And under General Files, you'll be able to drag and drop any general files that you would like to attach to the patient record. I'd just quickly like to talk about custom content. There's 4 different areas of custom content that we deal with within SimpleClinic. The first is content. This gives you the ability to define a content library. These content library elements can then be inserted into treatment notes. They can be inserted into prescriptions, and they can be inserted into emails that are sent to your patients. This allows you to build up a comprehensive content library, saving repetition of content, cutting and pasting from other documents, and allowing you to build up comprehensive prescriptions and protocols in just a couple of button clicks. We'll deal with custom content a little bit later in the presentation when we show you through the concept of prescriptions and how prescriptions work. The next area of custom content I'd like to talk about is favorite protocols. We'll see favorite protocols in more detail when we talk about prescribing. Favorite protocols allow you to build up a protocol library specific for the patients and the conditions that you regularly treat. This allows you to quickly build a prescription based on a boilerplate prescription you've previously created when treating the same condition previously. If you treat a lot of patients using the same sorts of dietary and lifestyle interventions, then it allows you to quickly and easily build a boilerplate protocol that you can apply to the majority of your clients, so that you'll only need to modify the little things that are specific for each particular patient. The next area of custom content I'd like to talk about is custom fields. Custom fields are a particularly important part of SimpleClinic. They allow you to customize the prescription and the treatment to totally suit the way you would like to practice. Using custom fields on a prescription, you can customize the content of a prescription to provide the patient with the content and the information you would like to provide them with. Using custom fields on a treatment note allows you to customize the information that you collect and capture from a patient to collect the information that's relevant for you and suits the way that you would like to practice. You can create as many custom fields as you would like. You can allocate those fields to a prescription, to a treatment note, or to both. The final area I'd like to talk about just quickly is the concept of appointment types. Appointment types allows you to group different groupings of custom fields together. When you record a treatment note for a patient, you can choose from any of your appointment types to only display the custom fields that are relevant for that particular appointment type. For example, if you're offering initial naturopathic appointments, you may have a rather comprehensive list of custom fields that delve into the different areas of the patient's health history. On the other hand, if you're offering a weight loss appointment, you're going to be more interested around things like food recall and exercise habits than an entire health history for that particular patient. Using appointment types, you can customize the treatment note so that you're only seeing the custom fields that are relevant to that particular consultation. We're going to record a treatment note for a patient now. To do that, I'm going to head across to Clients. I'm going to search for a client. In this case, I'm going to select Casey Jones. Before we go too far with recording a treatment note, I'd like to quickly talk about the Pathologies and Test Groups tab in the client record over here. Pathologies and Test Groups allows you to turn on and off different pathologies and test markers that you would like to track on a patient-by-patient basis. We have a number of common tests predefined that you will commonly find on a pathology referral. You can also define your own custom tests. In this case, we're going to turn off some of these tests and we're going to enable some other tests. So for Casey Jones, let's assume she's coming to see us for Hashimoto's, and we'll turn on TSH, free T4, some of the thyroid antibodies, T3, T4. We'll turn off goal weight, turn off hip measurement, and we'll turn on vitamin D. These will automatically be updated and tracked against this particular patient profile, and we'll see this when we get to recording a new treatment note for this particular patient. When we click on the Treatment Note tab in the client record, we'll see all the previous treatments that the patient has been in for. In this case, we can see the initial naturopathic consultation from July 2nd. We can see a follow-up naturopathic consultation from July 19th, and we can also see a follow-up naturopathic consultation on August 9th. If you would like to, you can also view all the information from these treatment notes as a consolidated treatment summary. The consolidated treatment summary will give you a chronological order of consultations along with all the information captured in custom fields and all the information that was collected with any file uploads. To record a new treatment note, we'll just click Record and Treatment Note from the client record. One of the first things that you'll see on the treatment note is the ability to choose the appointment type over here on the right-hand side. This gives you the choice of any of the appointment types that you defined under your Custom Content Appointment Types menu. Selecting the appointment type will filter the list of custom fields that are shown further down the treatment note to ensure that you're collecting the information that you would like to collect based on that particular appointment type. In this case, we're just going to toggle this across to a follow-up naturopathic. You'll see that the date has been automatically set to the 22nd of August 2018, which is when this demonstration is being recorded. If you want to post out your treatment note for consultations that have occurred in the past, you can do that by clicking on the time picker. This will allow you to pick the date and time of the treatment note. You can also lock treatment notes. Locking a treatment note will prevent any further modifications to that treatment note until it's been unlocked. This can be a good approach if you're working in a multimodality clinic with other practitioners and sharing those patients between practitioners, allowing other practitioners to view past treatment notes that may be relevant to their interaction with the patient, but also allowing those treatment notes to be locked so that they can't make any changes to that particular treatment note. If we scroll down a little bit further, the next thing you'll see is the pathologies and test results. These are the test results that we enabled for this particular patient. In this case, we're tracking vitamin D3, we're tracking T4, we're tracking T3, and we're tracking TSH. You'll see an area to enter the new result. This is ideal if a patient has brought blood work with them, or if you've requested that paperwork from the relevant lab and are copying the results from the email or fax that was sent through to you from the pathology lab. You'll also see the previous results that have been recorded for this particular patient. You don't have to use the pathologies and test results. It will only be shown if you enable pathologies and test results for a patient. If you would prefer to, you can also just drag and drop those blood test results directly into the File Uploads area at the bottom of the treatment note. Practitioners are using the File Uploads area for a lot of different things. Blood work and blood test results is just one. You can also use those to capture photos from an iriscope. If you do tongue or nail diagnosis, you can attach photos of the tongue and nail taken from your phone. If you're doing weight loss, you can use this area to capture patients' pictures before, after, and during the treatment process so that you have a record to refer to. If we scroll back up to the top of the page, we can see a number of text box areas through here. Digestive system, nervous system, endocrine system, immune system. These are all custom fields created under custom content in custom fields, and then linked through to the initial and follow-up naturopathic appointment types. You can enter information into these text boxes by just clicking on them and filling out the information. These text boxes will continue to expand as you type, allowing you to enter as much information as you need to enter. You can bold, you can italicize, and you can bullet point. You can also use custom content within a treatment note by clicking the Insert Content box up here. The custom content blocks I have are more relevant to the prescription than the treatment note, so we'll actually demonstrate this process later on when we look at prescriptions. Once a consultation has been completed, most practitioners are then creating a prescription for that particular patient. They can either do this directly from the client record, or as happens most commonly, they can just click the Create Prescription button up here in the top action bar. That's what I'm going to do today. You can see that we're now on the Create Edit Prescription page. The prescription has already been populated with the client details over here on the left and some prescription details over here on the right. When creating the prescription today, I'm going to show you the long way of creating a prescription so that you understand the final output from the prescription and how all the different parts fit together. Once you start using SimpleClinic, we give you a couple of extra tools here to make the prescribing process a lot easier. First of all, we give you the ability to clone a prescription. Cloning a prescription will take an exact replica of a patient's last prescription and create a duplicate of that you can then edit and make modifications to. If you're treating a patient for chronic illness, the treatment term is likely to be a longer term duration, 3, 6, 12 months. During that time, you're going to be seeing the patient on a weekly, fortnightly, or monthly basis, depending on how you structure your follow-up consultations. At each appointment, you can potentially be changing the prescription to make modifications based on changes in their presenting symptoms, changes in their blood work, and even changes in the patient's personal preferences. For example, maybe the dose of zinc that you had them on was making them nauseous, so in a subsequent prescription, you may choose to swap them over to a zinc tablet rather than a zinc powder or a zinc liquid. Cloning gives you the ability to quickly and easily create a replica of a prescription and just make changes to that prescription as you need to, rather than recreating the whole prescription from scratch. The second shortcut we give you is the ability to favorite a prescription. When you favorite a prescription, the prescription will be added to your favorite protocols library. You can then load this prescription, including all the custom fields and supplement details, and reuse that prescription in prescriptions with other patients by clicking on the Load Favorite Protocols Library button down here. The Load Favorite Protocols Library will give you a list of all the prescriptions that you've previously created favorite protocols from, in this stage only one, and give you the ability to use that in this current prescription. That will load in all the custom fields and all the supplement details, including dosages, notes, and liquid herbs, directly into the new patient prescription. I'm just going to cancel this for now. Today, I'm just going to show you the longer way to approach things when you're creating a new prescription from scratch. We'll start by scrolling to the bottom of the page. At the bottom of this page, you'll see an area for prescribed supplements. This is where we store all the supplements that you would like the patient to be taking. It includes dried herbs, includes liquid herbs, and it includes nutritionals. We'll demonstrate this shortly. The next two fields up show dietary recommendations and lifestyle recommendations. These fields are custom fields and can be controlled from the Custom Content, Custom Fields menu, allowing you to customize the prescription to show as much information from as many different areas as you would like to include. Continuing to scroll up, we see Client Note and Practitioner Note. The Client Note and Practitioner Note are not custom fields. These fields will always be displayed. The Client Note is public and will be shown to the client on the print prescriptions and on the email prescriptions. The Practitioner Note, on the other hand, is private. This note will never be shown to the client. The goal behind Client Note is to summarize for the client what the goals are from this particular stage of the treatment cycle. One of the examples that I like to give is that if you're treating someone like Casey for Hashimoto's, her treatment goals are likely to be that she wants to have more energy, she wants to lose weight, she wants to stop her hair thinning, she wants her eyebrows to come back. But your treatment goals are likely to vary based on what you're seeing in the presenting symptoms, what you're seeing in the blood work, and also whatever particular stage of treatment you may be up to with the patient. The goal of the Client Note is to let the client know that yes, you've heard and understood what their goals are from the treatment, and also to set some expectations around what the goals are that you're working on at this particular stage of the treatment cycle. In this stage, I'm just going to tell Casey Jones that we're working on stage 1 of her treatment program. I'm also going to tell her that we're going to be working on her immune system at this stage. You can type as much or as little content into this content box as you like. It will expand to accommodate whatever you want to type. You can also bold, you can italicize, you can bullet point, and you can put in numbered lists. This makes it a really good place to summarize what the patient's treatment goals are from coming to see you, as well as to explain what the treatment goals are for this particular cycle. If you find yourself typing the same thing over and over again, you can also insert custom content. We do that by clicking the Insert Custom Content button here. We'll demonstrate custom content when we get down to the custom fields later on in the prescription process. Once you've completed the client note, the next area is the practitioner note. The practitioner note is a note to you. It's an ideal place to summarize what the key indications were for that particular prescription, without you needing to go back and have a look at the treatment note associated with that particular client. The practitioner note is private. It's only going to be shown to you. So, if there's any observations that you need to make that are relevant to the prescription, this is a really good place for you to summarize what those observations were. I'm just going to put a note in here that this is a standard Hashimoto's protocol. And I'm going to say that we're working on immune system due to elevated eosinophils in live blood analysis. You can put whatever you would like in here. Again, this box will expand and shrink as you type. You can bold, you can italicize, you can insert bulleted lists. You can also insert custom content in this box as well, if you find yourself doing the same content over and over again. As we scroll down, we'll see dietary recommendations and lifestyle recommendations. You can either type in these boxes directly, as we've typed in the previous boxes. You can also use custom content, which is what I'm going to do today. I'll click Insert Content, and then from my custom content library, I'll choose gluten-free and casein-free diet. In my case, this just inserts 3 paragraphs into the dietary recommendations custom field. It tells the patient I want them to follow a gluten-free and casein-free diet, gives them common sources of gluten, and gives them common sources of casein. You can have as much or as little information in these content blocks as you would like. You can also link out to external resources on your website, including recipes, articles, blog posts, tables of foods to avoid, tables of foods to include. It's up to you how much content you put into your custom content library and how much content you put into each article. Under Lifestyle Recommendations, I'm just going to use another custom content block, and I'm going to choose Practice Gratitude and Mindfulness. That will just drop that content block in there. I'm now going to prescribe the patient some supplements. Today I want to show you how we work with nutritionals, how we work with capsulated herbal formulations and tableted herbal formulations, and I also want to show you how we work with liquid herbs. So I'll be adding one of each of these to this particular prescription. First of all, I'm going to add a nutritional. All these products are just going to pull from your inventory. Any items that you have in your inventory will be available for you to attach to a prescription. I'm going to add in some Meta Zinc. And I'm going to say I'd like the patient to have half a teaspoon daily until the next appointment, and I'm going to tell them I'd like them to have this after breakfast. I'm going to say ensure you have this with food. Remember, if you created a clone or were using a favorite protocol, all this information would already be provided for you. I'm just going to click OK. That's going to add that directly into the prescription for the patient. The next thing I'm going to do is to add a tabulated herbal product. In this case, I'm going to use ThyroBalance. And I'm going to say I want the patient to have 2 tablets twice daily until next appointment. And I want them to have it after breakfast and after dinner. I'm going to remind the patient that this product contains iodine. Please don't take other sources of supplemental iodine. Once again, remember, if you are using a favorite protocol or if you are using a cloned prescription, this information would already be done for you. I'm just going to click OK, and that's added ThyroBalance to the protocol as well. Our next step is to add a liquid herb to this prescription. This follows a similar process to the other 2 supplements that we've already added. First of all, we'll click Add Item. We'll then choose a 500 ml liquid herbal from our inventory. And we'll say we want the patient to have 5 ml daily until next appointment. And we'll just say after breakfast and dilute with a little water. At this point, you may be wondering where the actual liquid herbs come from. After we click OK, SimpleClinic will display a list of all the liquid herbs that are in our inventory. In this case, we have Andrographis, Astragalus, Boswellia, and Echinacea. Let's go and add some liquid herbs to this particular formulation. We're going to add 100 ml of Andrographis. We're going to add 150 ml of Astragalus. And finally, we'll add 250 ml of Echinacea. And we'll just click OK. You can see this has added the 500 ml liquid herbal to our prescription. It's broken out the ingredients, showing that we've got 100 ml of Andrographis, 150 ml of Astragalus, and 250 ml of Echinacea. At this point, I'm just going to save the prescription. And then, if you had the patient in clinic, you can scroll back up to the top of the page and select Print from the action bar. This will open the prescription in a new window. It will provide your logo, business details, the patient details through here, your client notes summarizing your client treatment goals, and also the goal of this particular stage of treatment at the top of the prescription through here. We provide a table with all your supplementation dosages. This will show the time you want the patient to be taking the supplement and the amount of that particular supplement you want them to be taking. It will also include any of your notes and comments that you made as part of the prescription process. If we come down the bottom here, we'll also see where we have the 500 ml liquid herbal. It's been broken up to show the actual ingredients: 100 ml of Andrographis, 150 ml of Astragalus, and 250 ml of Echinacea. Finally, if we keep scrolling down, you'll see where we have the dietary advice and lifestyle advice fields. Your custom fields with all their content have been displayed here as well. If you find yourself doing online consultations, you can also email this prescription directly through to the patient by clicking the Email button from the action bar. This will open up a new window where you can add any additional details, as well as a link through to the prescription where they can view the print summary that we saw just before, print on their printer, or download a copy for them to keep at home. You can also SMS a prescription through to a patient, which will send a link for them to actually access that prescription online. Once you've provided that prescription to the patient, either via email or via printing out, the next step is to convert that prescription directly into an invoice, which is what we're going to do right now. To do that, we'll click Convert to Invoice from the action bar at the top of the page. This automatically creates an invoice for the patient. It will include the client details, the invoice details, and the date will automatically be set to today. As we scroll down, you'll notice that the 500 ml liquid herbal has been broken out into the relevant herbs. In this case, Astragalus, Andrographis, and Echinacea. The quantities have been set to the quantities from the prescription, and the unit price has been set to the per ml price that was recorded against the actual items themselves. We'll also see the other items that were added to that prescription. We'll see Metazinc, Thyrobalance, and down here we'll see an initial consultation. This is automatically added to the invoice based on the fact that Casey had an appointment in the diary for today. If we would like to, we can also add some additional items to the invoice at this point as well. For example, we can add some silica to help Casey with that thinning hair. As we scroll a little bit further down, we'll see that the expiry and batch numbers for the liquid herbs have been automatically captured and populated against the invoice. The expiry dates and batch numbers are collected when you receive an order using the SimpleClinic ordering system. If you didn't capture expiry date and batch numbers, these areas will be empty, and you can populate these with details based on the bottles that you used when you mixed up the formulation. With that done, the next step is to record a payment for an invoice. Regardless of whether your patient pays via cash, EFTPOS, or Square, the process is the same. We scroll down to the Payments section in SimpleClinic. Hit the button beside Payments to add a new payment. Make sure the amount is correct, and choose the method of payment that was used by the patient. We also support split payment types, which would allow you to use high caps for your private health fund rebate and then select EFTPOS for the remainder of the bill. We're just going to use EFTPOS for this payment. This invoice has now been paid and can be printed out and given to the patient in clinic. To do that, we click Print from the action bar at the top of the page. You will see your provider numbers are located up the top, and any liquid herbs on the invoice have their expiry date and batch numbers indicated. You can print this off on your printer in clinic and give it to the patient. If you're going paperless or doing online consultations, you can also click Email. Much like prescriptions, this will load up a window where you can enter any additional content and email the link through to the patient. If there's an outstanding balance on the invoice, the patient will have the opportunity to pay that balance online, either using Stripe or Easy Debit. The final step that most practitioners are going through from this point is to rebook the patient for a follow-up consultation. To do that, we're just going to head over to the diary. We'll skip forward a couple of weeks and we'll say we want to see Casey Jones on Wednesday the 5th of September, which is in 2 weeks. We'll click on the time slot and we'll just start typing in Casey's name here. This will autocomplete from any of the clients that you have in your SimpleClinic database. If the client doesn't already exist, you can also create the patient at this point as well, allowing you to create new appointments directly from the diary. We'll select Casey Jones. We'll choose a follow-up naturopathic appointment. A practitioner is automatically selected, and if you're using multiple locations, a location is automatically selected for you as well. At this point, we'll just click OK. The appointment gets directly added to the diary. In this case, we can see the follow-up naturopathic appointment for Casey Jones. Casey Jones will also have immediately gone into all the SimpleClinic workflows. This includes the booking SMS, booking email, reminder SMS, and a reminder email. The booking emails, reminder emails, and SMSs can all be configured based on the service category chosen. You can do this from within your business cell under your message settings. You can customize the content for your booking SMS, your booking email, reminder SMS, and reminder email. Any of the content can be customized based on the service category. If you have multiple service categories, you'll be able to customize them for each category. This gives you a good way to break up the emails between things like initial consultations and follow-up consultations. SimpleClinic also includes an electronic form builder that allows you to automatically send your paperwork to patients, have them fill that form out online, and results are immediately sent back to you. To insert a link to a form that you've created in the electronic form builder, click Insert Form. This will bring up a menu where you can choose from any of the forms that have been created for you. In this case, I'm going to choose the Passion for Health intake form. I'll just click OK. That inserts a link directly into the email that the patient can click on to complete the form. Once the form is completed online, those results will be sent through to you via email. They'll also be stored directly against the patient record, accessible from the patient record under the Forms tab. The electronic form builder in SimpleClinic is available under your account in Form Builder. It's a drag-and-drop form builder, allowing you to quickly and easily build custom forms for your particular clinic. To add additional fields to a form, simply drag them out from the palette on the right-hand side and drop them in the main area down here. Additional information about the form builder is available from the knowledge base. If you'd like to receive that article, simply send an email to support@simpleclinic.net and we can get that sent through to you. Thank you for watching this demonstration. If there's any questions that you have about SimpleClinic, send an email to support@simpleclinic.net and one of our staff will happily answer those questions for you. If you would like to proceed and get started with SimpleClinic, also send an email through to support@simpleclinic.net and let us know, and we'll get the paperwork out to you so that we can get your account created and set up for you. Thank you again for your time, and if you have any other questions, please do let us know.